KJ Varish, thank you so much for coming over to our office today.
Alhamdulillah, it is quite a good setup that I can see, and in fact the view is great because I think this is where you can get the ideas of what you're going to try to create.
Yeah, that's right lah. And sometimes when we feel stressed out, we just have a look outside, and we feel calmer.
Good.
That's just one of those things. Yeah.
And I think I've known you for quite some time already, and I can see that you have gone leaps. Just let's talk a bit historically. Okay. Historically, right?
I grew up in Bangi, Bandar Baru Bangi.
Okay.
And from there, I went to boarding school for 5 years in Perak.
Okay. It was in MCKK.
It was in MCKK.
So was it at school or was it at home that you developed this enthusiastic, very interested into this AR VR?
Well, at that time, AR VR was almost non-existent.
Okay.
That was so long ago.
But you're not the nerd guy at home playing computers after school.
Well,
and
my
then
first
at night, 11 o'clock, then only you sleep. Are you that guy, or are you the active guy?
Well,
rugby and all that.
During those days, the technology was limited.
Okay.
We didn't have as much. Things were not as cheap as they are now. So at that time, it was quite tough. But I started off, playing video games, Tetris at that time. And anyway, it was fun.
So from Tetris is where you start to look into other forms of immersive VR apps kind of thing.
Well, originally, when I was in university, we learned about fluid dynamics. We learned about engineering. I did my degree in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So that's when we learned about fluid dynamics, thermodynamics, and things like that. And I felt the interest to do simulation, to do 3D based simulation on understanding, fluid dynamic systems, heat transfer, and things like that. So that's when I started dealing with 3D data, and from there. We evolved the utilization into VR and AR technology that we are looking into now.
You were saying we. That means you had a team back then, or it was you?
Well, originally, when I said we, was in terms of my class in university. But then when we started the company, it was myself as well as another of my friend at that time, Sadiq. He's also. We co-founded the company together. We both felt that it was time to,
go into
a
So you have one
company.
mechanical engineer and one simulation engineer combining forces.
Yeah.
That's where Innovim came about.
That's right. And it came about basically we felt that, with our niche knowledge in simulation, in engineering, we can try to generate some projects and create new job opportunities and things like that.
What are causes or issues that are really close to your heart at that point of time? Was it
the usage of technology in industry for me at that time was very close to my heart. We felt that I felt that there's a lot of things that can be achieved. That at that time was not that widely used as it is now. So we felt that we had to pioneer the usage of 3D simulation in industry.
That was at university level?
That was prior to starting Innovim.
Okay.
So we were already working in the oil and gas industry before.
Okay.
So that's when.
Sorry. Your uni days was in.
Actually, ever since my university days, I've been doing the same thing, which is 3D simulation, visualization, fluid dynamics, and then now into VR, AR technology. It's basically something that I learned from university, and I kept doing until now.
Or is it Innovim, another word, or how do I say this?
Actually, the naming process for the company, Innovim was one of the 10 words that we chose, and finally we chose for our company name. Innovim actually stands for Innovation Stream.
Okay, innovation.
So,
yeah, okay.
Innovation
I
Stream.
thought Innov was innovation.
Yeah.
I know that. But Veeam was
It's a combination between innovation and stream.
Stream.
Because we intend to keep innovating. We intend to keep looking at how we can use technology to improve efficiencies and things like that. Even in fact, you can see our tagline, knowledgeable innovation. We feel that that's something that is very important. You can innovate, but at the same time be passionate about knowledge, be passionate about wanting to know new things, and from there we can try to find ways how we can innovate.
Okay. I mean, I've known a number bit about your business, about the games, about 360% virtual tour, your AR apps and so on. But I would like to learn more about metaverse.
Okay.
Of late we've been hearing about metaverse, and is Innovim in a position to create one? And if yes, what kind of world will you be creating?
Okay.
And will you be a superhero in that world? Are you going to be a Superman or a Batman in that world?
Yeah.
And maybe we can expand from there.
Yeah.
Because metaverse is we've been reading about it, we've been watching about it, but we want to see
understand a bit more. Yeah.
How does the developer thinks about this?
Okay, so actually the term metaverse has been made mainstream when Facebook changed their name from Facebook to Meta. They signaled their new direction of going into a 3D virtual world. That changed the whole landscape from being a bit underground to now suddenly it became mainstream. Even before that, people were already utilizing VR, virtual reality technology, augmented reality technology for collaboration, talking to each other in the virtual world. It's just that when Facebook did that, it suddenly made everything mainstream, and a lot more interest arose from there for VR and AR technology. And what actually metaverse is, basically it's a virtual environment where people can join in and communicate, collaborate with each other. So that's basically the main.
And they can scam each other also, right?
They can scam each other. They can do many things with this as well.
Yeah,
people. There's even abuse, cyberbullying in the metaverse.
Okay.
So it's the same. When you start interacting in a virtual world together, then that's where all the physical traits of the world can also be brought into the virtual environment.
But since you are the developer, what sort of world are you going to? What sort of world are you creating so that people would want to come to your metaverse?
Well, right now I think even though we are developers, we have always been focused on how can industry, how can companies benefit from the technology. That's what we have been doing since day one. How can companies in the industry utilize 3D technology, utilize virtual reality, augmented reality technology to generate value for shareholders, for their employees, and things like that. And for me, having that in mind, we have been pushing the usage of a private metaverse for companies to collaborate. So that's what we are focusing on. That's what we are pioneering. We are pioneering in developing private metaverses, say for example, in the oil and gas industry or in education, in power generation industry. Companies can have their own private metaverses. And then their employees can log in and collaborate, do onboarding, see data, digital twin data,
but
operations data. And
everyone that participate in the metaverse, they have to have their own avatar.
Well, the avatar represents the person in the virtual environment, in the metaverse.
So a metaverse will have to have an avatar which represents you.
Yes.
And that's where you represent yourself.
Yes,
in
and then
that particular
you
world.
can start talking, you start collaborating.
And I think you can do a lot of retail work, right? You can buy and sell in the metaverse.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you know, the first thing when you have a metaverse is you communicate with each other. You communicate with your colleagues, you communicate with the customer, you communicate with your management. But when you can start communicating, when you can start showing yourself as the avatar in the metaverse, then you can start owning things.
Hey, you got to show me you know, I've not seen you in your metaverse. Nanti, after
Well,
this.
after this.
After this. We don't need to tell the world who you are.
When you have your avatar in there, and then you can start talking, and then what the evolution of the technology immediately says that you can now trade with that person.
Yeah.
You can trade with that person, and so the ownership of digital items suddenly becomes an issue, and then the transactions suddenly becomes an issue. That's where blockchain technology comes in, for example, where you have NFTs to showcase or to to show that you own a specific digital data. And then you have cryptocurrencies to allow you to do the purchasing, or you can even link a payment gateway in there to use your own credit card and things like that. So the metaverse starts off with communication and collaboration between a group of people, and then you expand it to ownership of virtual estates, ownership of digital data with NFTs, and then you go to purchasing, trading, creating value, and so on.
Okay, Zamir, is there anything that you can show me?
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
want to wear my spec.
Let me just show you some videos. Okay, so this is a sample video of an augmented reality metaverse that we have, and you can play this. So you can see how the digital elements is shown, and now we have two players in here. So myself and my colleague, we are collaborating with this digital 3D digital element. Okay, and when we start collaborating, let me just forward this a bit. So you can see that now we're both in this virtual environment where we are interacting with the 3D data.
So that's where you say that with this concept is where retailing will come in strong, right?
Yeah.
Because you can actually tell us what you want to sell. So this also means that you got to have a lot of subscribers. Am I right?
Yeah. Well,
if for you to expand, you must have a number of subscribers and number of people to enter into your.
It can be like any other marketplace as well, like any physical marketplace. How can you make it sustainable? You can make it sustainable by charging the merchants. You can take a cut from purchases and things like that. But the business model for that, there's many potential business models that can be implemented. But the concept is where it is most exciting. The concept of simulating any product, from the simplest car, for example, to more complex heavy machinery. So you can simulate all those things in the metaverse. So that's what we are doing right now.
Wow. So how do you balance your daily life? I can see that one day you are in this virtual world, another day you are in this meta world, you are in the normal world, and what world? So how do you balance with your family world?
Yeah, I think that's always a big problem, something that you have to focus on. You need to put effort to ensure that there's a balance between your work life and your personal life as well. And I'm very lucky, I'm very happy to share that I have a very supporting wife. So both of us are working very hard, but we always try to make sure that we find time to spend time together with my family as well, with my kids. So I think that's something that I've only recently started doing. When I started the company about 10 years ago, it's always hustle. But then I started to realize, time is limited. So, yeah.
Well, Zamir, I hope that your endeavors goes well.
Yeah.
And again, there are not many competitors yet in Malaysia, right?
That's
you
right.
are actually one of the pioneers in this business.
That's right.
So I do believe that you can go strong, and by speaking with you, this is not a stagnant kind of thing.
Yeah.
There are wonders that you can go.
Thank you,
Wish
Farish.
for the very best.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming.
Inshallah.
Why not let's have some coffee?